Alright, so now we're going to talk about how to get our Scratch outline onto NoodleTools. We should already have a Scratch outline created on a Word document, so in order to get it onto NoodleTools, we're going to go over to our Note Cards tab, which most of us should already have note cards, as we can see. We're going to go over to the outline section over here. I'm going to minimize the page, and that's going to reveal my Word document over here, which has my research question already on it. So we're going to go over to topic, and we're going to start with Roman numeral 1. So I look over, and I see that introduction is my Roman numeral 1. There we go. You're going to have to double click in order to edit it, or else click once in order to just highlight it. So I can click once to highlight, and then I double click, and then I can add the changes I want to make. So I'm going to type in introduction. I'm going to go down to subtopic. I'm going to make sure to remind myself that I'm going to need a thesis statement at some point. So now that I want to create a new heading, I'm going to click the plus button here. And that's going to give me a new Roman numeral. So I'll delete that. Type in the history / background information on my topic, which is, in this instance, women and athletics. So this obviously won't be the same for you. You will add in your own personal topic. I'll click it again there. There we go. So whenever this happens, whenever it creates a subtopic for you, but notice how I don't have a subtopic for my history or background information yet, all I have to do is go up to this button here, and it says move left, and it'll just simply move it left for me, and it'll become a Roman numeral, so I can type in my agent of change. So instead of just typing in the agent of change, I'm going to actually put in my agent of change, which is Title 9. I'll create another one. I'll move it left again. My effects of Title 9. I'll create another one. So now I'm actually going to want to take this moment to kind of split that up a little bit and want to put in positive effects. And it's taking its time loading there. There we go. I'll create one more, but I don't want it to be a subheading. I want it to be a part of that one, so I'll double click it. Negative effects. So this isn't something that you personally have to do. If you want to, you can, though. This is just me kind of making it easier for myself, developing my outline a little bit, just kind of breaking down the effects of Title 9 to both positive and negative effects. So I'll press the plus button again. I'll have to click over a couple times because I have a new Roman numeral. There we go. Alright, so what it's like for women and athletics today. There we go. So now I'm going to want to get my conclusion on there. There we go. So now I can have the option of adding my restatement of thesis if I want to add that in there to remind myself, which in this case I do just because I don't want to forget. So I'll need to move that left. Have our discussion of main points. There we go. Move that left again so that I can get my POW in there. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Now I have my outline. So in the event that you happen to type something into the wrong spot, so let's say that I had effects of Title 9 next to Roman numeral 3 instead of actually Title 9, I can use these buttons up here to just move it up and down. So now effects become number 3 and Title 9 becomes number 4. That's just a quick way to fix any mistakes you might make, or if later on you decide that you don't want to talk about the history first, if you want to talk about Title 9 instead, you can just pop it right up there. If I decide that, no, I don't really want to talk about a POW or a clincher, I can click the delete button. It'll just completely get rid of it for me. And then later on, if I feel like I want to print the entire outline just to have it in front of me on a piece of paper, I can just click print. So now that I have my outline created, I'll make the window bigger again. There we go. Notice how my note cards have disappeared though, so I'm just going to want to click Note Card tab. And then everything is right there. I've got all my note cards as well as my outline. So that's really all there is to it, guys, as far as creating the Scratch outline later. So now later on what's going to happen when I'm creating my final outline is I'm going to correspond the different note cards that I've made and actually put them into my actual outline. So now I'll just have to go over and say that I want the information on this note card is going to be part of the introduction. So I'm later just going to type that in over here, but we will worry about that at a later time. But hopefully now you know how to add your outline onto NoodleTools.